How's it going, guys? Haven't done a worm update for quite some time, so I thought I'd bring you along and just show you releasing some new worms into the bathtub farm. I bought some composting worms from a bait supply. Thank you, Stephen. Good mate. Stephen put me onto them after chatting on Facebook. He was after some bait worms, raising some bait worms, and he put me onto this mob down here in Australia. I'll put the link in the description below. So I ended up getting 2,000 worms for $40 delivered, so which is a pretty good deal, and I got a nice little chili-esky out of it as well, so that was good. So I'll give you a bit of a look at this. It's going to increase the genetic diversity of the farm, also add in those night crawlers, so see how that goes. In case you haven't watched other clips, we did have 2 bathtub farms running. I lost one due to some dodgy plumbing in the house. We're right underneath the bathroom here, and one of the pipes actually cracked and leaked into the worm farm, and a lot of toothpastey soapy water got in there, and the worms weren't too fond of that. So anyway, that's been looked after. That bed's now, or that farm's now vacant, and I'm just running on this one. This farm I'm about to show you actually has worms from the compost pile. We've found out the worms actually do a lot better in the compost piles here, doing the second stage composting, than they do in the bathtub worm farms. So these worm farms are pretty much all just going to be treated as a holding ground, a little bit of a breeding place. So when the next lot of compost is ready to go, I can split this farm in half and put those worms in there, after I collect the castings of course. Put the worms in the compost pile just to finish it off. So I've done clips on that if you're interested in just how that compost pile worked out and the worms we got from it. So anyway, I'll bring you down to the little farm here and give you a bit of a look, and you can see for yourself. So the first thing you'll notice about the farm, if you've been watching our clips, is the food is not all mushed up. Normally I like to put the food through a food processor and just process it and then just add it in on top as a bit of a slop, but yeah, been a little bit lazy of late, so I haven't been getting around to doing that. I have been getting a load of bananas and also avocados, finishing off some dud avocados we've picked up from the fruit and veg shop. They've been going in there. That adds a little bit of extra potassium. Some of our own banana skins are in there as well. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. Just underneath here, actually there's none under there. I scared them all before. I'll bring you over and see if we can sneak a look under this cucumber. Saved a couple of seeds the other day, and we popped the half of the cucumber here, and oh, it was crawling with worms before, but I think I've disturbed them. A little bit too bright with the lid off, so loads of little worms in there. We'll disturb them, hey? Sorry guys. Just all underneath the surface. We've got a lot of worm activity there, just been feasting on that. The other thing I've started to put a lot more of in here is the coffee grounds. We've got a coffee machine upstairs, so I've been adding in the coffee. I haven't been hitting up the local coffee stores yet, but yeah, I'll probably get to that in the future. So anyway, there's the box of worms. So the worms came in this little chili box, or chili bin, esky. I've already opened them up on another clip. I did a bit of an impromptu walk around the front yard just after these arrived, but I've saved this cable tie once, but I'll cut him this time. They came really well packed actually. The bag's nice and damp. The newspaper that came in, it's nice and damp as well. So they definitely had a nice little journey. They were sent yesterday and they've arrived today, so overnight from down south here in Australia. What I might do is, yeah, I'll open them up on the bed here and give you a bit of a look. Oh, there we go. Whole big massive worms, some really nice big ones in there. Bring you down for a closer look before they all escape. So some really nice worms in there, and that is jam packed. There's tons. There'd have to be more than 2,000 there for sure. So loads of little ones. There's a nice big stripy one. Whoops, you got away from me. So there's all, oh, some beautiful big ones in there. Also a whole heap of smaller ones. So there's supposed to be at least the reds and the night crawlers in here. Some of these worms are just fantastic. They're nice and big, nice juicy ones, so I can see why they sell them as bait worms. But anyway, I'm just going to cover them up with spread them out and then cover them up with a couple of scraps and bananas and let them do their thing. And what I might end up doing is coming back a little bit later and running a bit of water through this bed. I've just noticed that it is a little bit dry. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but it is a little bit dry. I'm just going to cover these guys up quickly with the newspaper they came with. The worms really don't like being exposed to the light, so this stuff isn't too damp. But we'll give them a bit of protection from the light for now. And then we'll have a bit of a dig around the other end and I'll show you the worms. I know I've I've pretty much well upset these little guys now. But we'll have a bit of a dig around, just show you the populations we got in here already. It is very, I'll just use my hands. There are loads of worms in this bed, absolutely teeming with worms from the compost bin. I don't think we're going to have a problem whatsoever when it comes to adding these back into the new compost piles that I want to make up. I just thought it was a good idea just to get the night crawlers in here. I had a batch before, but unfortunately we lost them with the other bathtub debacle. So I just cover these guys up, don't like leaving them out. So I just thought it would be a good idea just to get, you know, a few different species in there. But so far they've been really liking this cucumber. They really go to town on the soft fruits, and also to the bananas and the avocado. Came down and there was a pip, and these are the little avocado pips, and sometimes I get a little crack in them. Came down the other day and squished one, and there was about a dozen worms inside. They just get into the cracks and eat them out. Also too, some mouse melons. We saved some mouse melons, and just the ones I wasn't happy with, I don't save seeds from, so they've just ended up in here. Bits of corn cob and all sorts of stuff. So there you go, there's a bit of an update on the worm farm. We've had a couple of people ask on different clips how the worms are going, so I thought it was about time to do a little bit of an update. So I'm just going to pull this lid on now and get these guys covered up. So there you go guys, there's a bit of a catch up on the worms in the bathtub farm and a bit of an unboxing of sorts. Really chuffed with the way those red wrigglers are going in there, just to be able to pull out a handful of manure like that and to have it crawling with worms. Got to be doing something right. Just quickly with the horse manure, make sure it's aged if you're going to use it. If you don't know where it's come from, age it for a month or two, probably 2 would be best, before you use it with your worms. Just there's some stuff in there that get fed to horses that can be rather bad for them. But the worms in there, they all came from the compost pile out in the yard. When we harvested that a while back, I got as many worms out as I could, and they started off this farm and they're just going great guns, really chuffed. The worms in this bathtub are pretty much all going to be used to seed the new compost piles out there. What we do is pretty much we'll cook the compost. Once it finishes doing the cooking and it cools down, throw in some compost worms and then just let them do the second part of the process. They add a lot of beneficial bacteria and microbes in there, and also they further refine down the organic matter. So that's pretty much all the purpose, or how we're going to use these farms from now on. The new worms, I can't complain. They were here when they said they were going to be here. The price, I mean, 2,000 worms for $40 I think it was, delivered. Can't complain at all, and it does look like the numbers are in there, so mighty chuffed with that. And I got a little esky box, so that's always good. Also too, a couple of links to groups on Facebook, just in the description below for you guys on there. A couple of worm groups. One's a newer one that I've just started having a bit of a walk around, or look around, so if you want to check them out as well. But yeah, I think that is pretty much all it. If you do have any comments, questions or suggestions, pop them in the comments section below and I shall get back to you. And I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys! I thought what I might do is actually turn this bag inside out, because there's bound to be a couple of worms stuck in there. No, down in the cracks. Oh, there's a little baby. There you go. Squirm free and prosper dude.